The Civil War is strange to me. Um, when revisiting history, his story, things get a bit odd, don't they? Things don't add up, don't make sense. And frankly, I feel something very dark behind all of it. All of it. No matter what the history is, I find it all very dark. Excuse me. So I'm looking here at the Library of Congress, and we're going to look at a collection of Civil War photos, Union and Confederate soldiers. They're all boys. They're all boys. This is from 1861 to 1865. Pretty much all these photos are 1860s. What they tell us. Excuse me. And if that's true, if that's to be true, um, something is off big time. So let me show you what I mean. What you're going to see throughout these photos in this collection here that I've selected, I've some photos which stuck out to me, is you're going to find fear. You're going to see fear. So be prepared. I'm not going to get too dark about this, but I just want to get this across and my opinion across, because I think it ought to be, because something's off here. Something is off. And I'll tell you why. I'll give a good reason. I'll give good reasoning for why I make my claims. One of my claims being, I'm not sure if these folks that you're going to be looking at here are soldiers whatsoever. None of them. I think a lot of them are people who were captured. Maybe prisoners of war, maybe not, maybe rounded up, maybe invaded. But what you're going to see is genuine fear in these boys, kids' faces. You're going to see characteristics in some of these children that don't always appear human as we know. That being wonky eyes, and just features that just don't seem to be common today in humanity as we know it. Maybe these are a close cousin of ours. Maybe these are old worlders who were rounded up. Maybe these are the photos of those who were rounded up. The remaining of the old world. Hard to say, but let's just dive into this. So, first of all, a lot of these boys seem to have never held a gun before and are holding weapons that they're not going to be using in any type of a war. I'll tell you that much. Use your common sense here. Use your common sense. Why is he holding the gun like that at the top of the musket? Right next to the bayonet. He's going to slice his hand open doing that. Does he look like he wants to hold that gun? I don't think so. And to me, he looks frightened. That looks like genuine fear. And another thing you're going to find is rosy cheeks. This is a Union soldier. Are rosy cheeks something that soldiers, is that a soldierly thing to do, is take a photo with rosy cheeks? Do soldiers often take photos holding a gun like they're scared to touch it? Or are they gripping that thing like I'm ready to go to war? That's what I saw. I had friends that went to Afghanistan. I have friends that went to Iraq. And the photos I saw of them before war, they were ready to go. Okay? None of these photos are showing that whatsoever. These people look like they're frightened, like they're being told to stand there and take a photo, and that they're about to be killed afterwards. I'm sorry it's dark, but what I see is that these folks have already seen all their family and friends just get killed, and they're taking photos before their death. That's what I see. I'm sorry it's dark. This is just my opinion. I'm just trying to go by feel and what I see. I see people who are rounded up and about it's the end. And that's what I see in their eyes and in their expression. It's the end. I'm just doing what I have to do so I don't have to suffer the worst of the worst, possibly, even though it's already over. Moving on. We have strange things like this. Why is he holding the guitar? He doesn't look happy playing it. So why does he have it out? And we have a wonky eye. a wonky eye. And there's more than one of these. Are these the same people we are, or are they very close to us? Are they Homo sapiens, or are they not? Are they very close? We're the old worlders close to us, but not exactly us, like we see in the Paracas peoples, missing a parietal plate, no sagittal suture. You get what I mean? Moving on. Sorry. He looks terrified, and there's a fake background. Why a fake background? It's not a joke. This is war. Why a fake background? And notice that the bayonet clears the top of his head, and and that if he were to shoot that enormous revolver in his hand, it's going to blow his wrist right off clean off his arm. There's no way he can shoot that musket. He can't even load it. It's at eye level, the end of the barrel. Look at the fear. Okay. How old do you think he is? 12? Rosy cheeks? It's as if they're being shamed. As if someone very dark is saying, look at how scared they are. And they made pink cheeks on them just to show it. As if they're bashing someone, shaming someone. He's hiding the hand, but don't be fooled. Look at his face. Look at the rosy cheeks. Is that a soldierly thing to do? To have rosy cheeks before battle, before you go into war? Rosy cheeks. Or do these people look like they've been shamed and then photoshopped to look even more ridiculous, as if to, you know, that's what I'm seeing. I don't want to get too dark, but these are dark. This is a dark thing that has to be addressed, I think. We can't go on just believing and just thinking things were so when they weren't. And let's just get this out and just examine it, and then we can just do what we need to do with it and leave it there if we need to. But at least we know, and we can have a better picture of what happened, so we know what's going on right now with what we're doing. And these are ridiculous. These frames. You got to be kidding me! I've never seen a frame like this in my life. The ornate designs, the woodwork, the copper work, and all types of metals. You give me a break. Another wonky eye. They put makeup on him. Is makeup a soldierly thing with pink cheeks to go into battle? He's got a revolver and a sword. He's gonna get his head blown off. They're shooting muskets and rifles out there in the field, so they tell us. And look at the ridiculous picture frame. You give me a break. That's old world as all get out. You know? You know? Give me a break. He looks terrified. He's a boy. He's got two revolvers. So he's gonna go in guns a blazing with a sword at his side. You know what I mean? Another 12-year-old looks terrified, like he's being told to stand there. He knows it's over. Look, he's limp. He's limp. He doesn't know how to hold that. What's he holding? A sword? No, a musket. Taller than him. It's bent over. It's too tall. It's taller than him. He looks dressed up, standing there, terrified. That's what I see, you know? Look at this one. Oh, excuse me. Is that fear or is that not fear? And look at the felt. Look at the felt over here. The materials. And these are all riveted picture frames. Riveted. Old world. Look at how clean and perfect these hinges are on these tiny little frames. And they're riveted. You get what I mean? We don't do that stuff today. We use plastic. He looks absolutely terrified and mad about what's happening to me. He's got pink cheeks. It's not a soldierly thing. Don't tell me he's mad because he wants to go on, he's ready to go into battle. He has pink cheeks. Why the pink cheeks? Is that why he's mad? No. Something happened. The gun's bigger than him. Can't lift that and shoot it. How can you load that on the battlefield? How can you load a gun bigger than yourself on the battlefield when they're shooting muskets and rifles out there? You get your head blown off. And I have a couple photos here of these letters, Civil War letters. Oh, okay. So just let me go back here. Any of you have children his age? or say his age, you're gonna send your boy off to battle at that age? Just it, even if things were shaky, you're gonna send your boy off to battle at that age? Anyone? Give me a break. You're gonna run and hide first, aren't you? Before anything, with a boy that young, right? And then you're gonna, but then they'll say, you know what they'll say? Oh, but they're orphans. That's the time of the orphans. These are orphans. So if they're orphans, then okay, if they're orphans, who are they writing to then? Who are they writing to? Because there's all these civil war letters, civil war letters, civil war letters. Who are they writing to then? You get it? None of this stuff adds up. It's a big joke. Something happened here, and this is dark. The photos that they give us, that the library of Congress gives us, is dark and creepy. Another riveted picture frame, ridiculously ornate. Hand in the pocket, but does he look like he wants his hand there? I don't think so. You run into battle with that revolver right there, you're gonna lose in 5 seconds and get your head blown off because they're shooting muskets and rifles out there. He looks sad. He looks scared, and like it's the end to me. He's a boy, pink cheeks, pink cheeks. This is off. Some of them seem to be of other. This is a a Union corporal. They say the musket's bigger than himself, and where is he from? Some of them appear to be races that I've never even seen. If I were to guess his race, I'd say probably a Tartarian. He kind of has that look, you know. But he looks terrified. He looks terrified, like I can see him, like he just saw something terrible, and then he's stuck. He doesn't want to take that photo at all. You could say it's because of they're about to go into war, but that's not what I'm seeing. I'm seeing uncomfortable poses like this, like they've never held a gun before, wonky eyes, like as if they're not quite human, and fear and terror in their faces, and pink cheeks, as if they're being ashamed to say, "Look at how scared they are. We're about to kill them." That's what I see. 11-year-old here looks like, I don't know how old they say he is, but I mean, how old do you think he really is? The musket's bigger than him. The bayonet is at head height. He runs into battle. He's going to lose that revolver in 5 seconds and get his head blown off. And that buck knife on his side is going to gut him like a fish. First stride, going into battle like that. You give me a break. Gun loose in his belt, right, like that. Another one, 13 years old probably. You know, you're going to send your boy off to battle at that age. Look at the fear in his eyes. He looks like he just saw something terrible to me. He saw something terrible. Just terrible. And it's over, and he knows it. That's what I would just get if I were just looking at this photo without knowing the story behind it. What would you think if you saw this without knowing that this was a Civil War photo that they say? What would you think? What would be your guess on what he's thinking or what he just saw? You know? They say she's holding a photo of her father. I don't think she knows what she's holding, but they stuck it in her hands because she's not even looking at it. Or it seems like she's not holding it. It's like as if someone placed it right there in between her arms. And she's just too scared to move, so she's not going to touch it or anything. She's going to stand there. She's wearing old world clothing. She looks like she's decked out, jewelry and all. Old world. Are these people that were captured that they're showing us? What are they showing us? They're showing us something dark, not Civil War stuff, I don't think. I could be wrong. But if I were to guess, no. These people have a different kind of fear in their eyes. Not for war. It's another kind of fear. As if it's the end. As if it's the end. Look at his pose. He doesn't want to get anything wrong. He's going into battle with a sword. Going to get his head blown off. They're shooting muskets and rifles out there, what they say. And he's only looking at the guy telling him to stand there. He's not worried about the cameraman. He's worried about the guy telling him to stand there. He doesn't want to get a damn thing wrong. That's what I would get from that pose and what I'm getting from the energy off of that. That's what I'm feeling from the energy. I'm feeling that he's just standing there because he has to. Same with him. The gun's as tall as him, and he looks terrified, like he already saw something. And he's next. You know? Not like he's ready for war. You're going to send soldiers that look like that out to war on the battlefield with muskets taller than themselves? They can't load them? Give me a break. You give me a fucking break. You know? Awkward poses, like he's never held. He's not holding that gun. Do soldiers hold their guns like that, or do they grip them as if it's a part of themselves? Yes, they do. He's not holding. He doesn't want to touch that thing. He was confused, as if he just is starting to realize that something's off, and he's got a bit of a wonky eye there. Are these the old worlders? You're not going to go into battle with a revolver on your side in your waistband and a sword that big. You give me a break. He looks terrified. No color in his eyes, like as if he has a different colored eye that we can't really pick up. A buck knife, pink cheeks, and he looks just drained. Like he's just done with it. He's drained. I've had enough. It's just over. They gave him pink cheeks and a buck knife. They're going to battle. They're shooting muskets and rifles out there. Give me a fucking break. Pink cheeks and looks terrified and 11 years old, 12 years old, 13 maybe. I don't know. No more than 14. You know? No, the gun's taller than him. Can't load it. Gun is actually taller than this kid. He actually can't load that. No way. What a job that would be, eh? And the Library of Congress has the nerve to give us these as Civil War photos. Some dark shit that we don't even know what is, but we can only, feel and, use our own discernment here on what's going on. More. Look at the ornate designs here on the felt. That's felt material. That's old world stuff. Riveted picture case. And look at the frames, and the kids look terrified. Pink cheeks. Terrified and like it's over. Not a smidgen of facial hair on any of these kids, hardly, because they're so young. And what do you think he just saw? Is he ready for battle? Is he ready for battle? And none of these people are beat up and war torn and This is before battle, obviously. That's what it looks like. They're not beat up like they were just in the battlefield. No. So why is he looking like that? What did he just see? Just feel it in your eyes. Feel it. Feel it through his eyes. Excuse me. Feel it in your soul. What did he just see? You get what I mean? Again, just the confused fear that I see in all of their eyes. Confusion and fear. And they're boys. They're boys. Boys. Pink cheeks. You're going to go with a sword. He's holding the sword on the blade. And it might be sheathed, but still, that's not how you hold your sword. No, not at all. He's looking at who's ever telling him to stand there, and he looks confused, and like he's getting upset with this, and that it's over. He got pink cheeks. Not a soldierly thing to do. Not a soldierly thing whatsoever. And look at the felt, the blue felt, and he's holding the sword right on the blade. And look at the detail on that sword. Where did that come from? The King of France? Give me a break. These are old worlders. This is something else going on. These photos may be way older than we've been told. Who knows what these really are? Wonky eye. Another wonky eye. Are they the same humans we are? I don't know. But they look terrified. And whatever's happening is not okay. Whatever's happening with these folks is not okay. I feel it. He's never held a gun before. And the fear and the terror and the pink cheeks as if they're shaming someone. The gun's bigger than him. Look at the pose. He doesn't want to touch that gun even. Probably because he knows that they're all being killed with those guns afterwards. I'm sorry to get to be that way, but I had to let my mind go somewhere to be able to process this and to understand what I'm feeling here. And I feel something along those lines. Something dark's going on here. And the Library of Congress has the balls to give us this as Civil War photos. I don't buy it. I think this is highly strange. More wonky eyes. Kind of, not really. But look at the pose. You're not going into battle with a revolver loose in your waistband like that. You give me a break. It's not going to happen. Here's some wonky eyes. Another wonky eye. He looks terrified and mad about what's happening, but he can't stop it. That's what I would feel from this. The pose is exact. He's being told to pose like this, and he's doing it. More wonky eyes. Drain of color. Interesting. Are they the old worlders? You're not going in the sword. You're not going in with that sword into battle. I'm sorry. Probably doesn't even have a horse. I'm just seeing fear. He has legs crossed and pink cheeks. You give me a fucking break. This isn't okay. These kids look fearful. They're kids, they're boys, and something wrong is happening to them right now. During these photo shoots, something is not what they're about to see. I see that something is wrong right now. Is what I'm feeling from this. Something is wrong right now. And this is creepy as well. Let's just take this over here. First off, look at this hand. What are these clawed? What is this clawed ridiculous crap that they pasted in here or drew in? And what the hell is it holding? They have like a reptile hand here with claws. And they have another fake hand here holding a fake flag. But I'll end on this. Look at her face. Whoever she's looking at, she does not like. Whoever she's looking at right now just did something. You know it in a kid's eyes. She does not like who she's looking at. She's looking at evil right now. That's what she's looking at. Pure evil. And they just did something. And she looks terrified. And these are Civil War photos that the Library of Congress gives us. I promise I shall not get into the depths like this too much more like this, but it has to be addressed, I think, for any of those who may not have revisited this yet. It's just strange and odd to me, and it just goes on and on with his story. Not making sense. But I love you all. Take care, and I'll be back soon.